Video games, films, and TV shows all have one thing in common: complex plots and detailed lore. But what if we scrap that idea entirely? This is...
My name's John Marston.
What are you doing here, Mr. Marston?
I'm here to capture or kill Bill Williamson.
Okay.
Released in 2010 and winning Game of the Year, Red Dead Redemption was one of the best games of that decade. Created by Rockstar, the company behind Grand Theft Auto, the game was so popular that a prequel followed in 2018 and became the 7th best-selling video game of all time at the date of recording.
That's quite big.
With rumours and leaks currently ongoing about Red Dead finally getting a PC port, this is the perfect time to simplify it. The story kicks off in 1911, introducing us to our main character, John Marston, a former outlaw who finds himself abducted by the Bureau of Investigation. The Bureau proposes a straightforward arrangement: track down his former gang members, and in return, his family will be released to him. John reluctantly accepts the deal. Setting his sights on New Austin, he tracks down his former comrade, Bill Williamson, who commands his own gang from the formidable Fort Mercer. In a tense confrontation, he tries to persuade Bill to surrender, only to be met with gunfire and left for dead. Fortunately, John is rescued by Bonnie McFarlane, a local rancher, who nurses him back to health on her ranch. Whilst recovering, John hatches a plan to take down Williamson once and for all, realizing he'll need allies for such a task. He gathers a diverse group, including a US Marshal, a cunning con artist, a skilled treasure smuggler, and an arms dealer. Together, they launch a daring assault on Fort Mercer, only to discover that Williamson has fled to Mexico, seeking aid from another former associate. With a farewell to his temporary allies, John crosses the border, determined to pursue his target. Upon his arrival in Mexico, John is quickly embroiled in the midst of a civil war between the state and a fervent rebellion. Playing both sides to gather intel on Williamson's whereabouts, John soon finds himself betrayed by the state's leader. Luckily, he is rescued by Abraham Reyes, the charismatic leader of the rebellion. Grateful for his rescue, John pledges his allegiance to the rebel cause. In a daring raid on a Mexican army fortress, they uncover Javier Escuela, the former ally who aided Williamson. Javier reveals that Williamson is now under the protection of Colonel Allende, the ruthless governor of the state. John is faced with a crucial decision: whether to kill or capture Javier. However, fate intervenes, and the decision is not necessarily in his hands. In a climactic assault orchestrated by Reyes on Allende's palace, Allende and Williamson manage to escape. Amidst the chaos, John pursues and ultimately eliminates his old comrade Williamson and the double-crossing Allende. With Williamson dead, John's mission in Mexico is accomplished, and he returns back to the States. Back in Blackwater, Bureau agents Ross and Fordham recruit John once again, this time to hunt down his former gang leader and mentor, Dutch van der Linde, who has formed a new gang alongside a group of Native Americans. Despite the emotional conflict, John accepts the task. Foiling Dutch's plan to rob the Blackwater Bank, John, accompanied by the US Army, launches an assault on his stronghold. In a dramatic showdown, John confronts Dutch on a cliff, where Dutch warns John he'll never find peace with the Bureau on his tail, before tragically taking his own life. In the aftermath, Ross honors the initial agreement, allowing John to finally reunite with his long-awaited family. Returning to his ranch, John finally finds solace, reunited with his wife Abigail and son Jack. It seems like he can finally pursue an honest life once again. However, Dutch's warning about the Bureau comes to fruition as Ross, the very man who has promised John's peace, betrays him. Leading a brutal attack on the ranch with the US Army, Ross leaves John outnumbered and outgunned. Managing to help his wife and son escape, John stands alone in a final confrontation with the law, but he tragically falls in the shootout. As the dust settles, the game fast forwards to 1914. Jack, now orphaned, lays his mother Abigail to rest besides John. Fueled by vengeance, Jack embarks on a quest to track down Ross and avenge his father's death. Confronting Ross, Jack demands answers, leading to a deadly duel where Jack emerges victorious, but now left to continue his journey alone. So, to summarize, it's literally just Cowboy GTA.